Come on, show the motherfuckers that you want this fight now. Show these motherfuckers that you get it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Make them combinations fast. Come on. Trust in your speed, son.
He got that killer instinct. You know what it takes to get it done.
4 minutes.
That's why it's easy training with him, because he trains so hard.
In terms of my training in my camp, I love combat. I love testing myself.
What's the word, Chris?
Did some cardio earlier.
No, Wednesday we got 12 rounds. 12 3-minute rounds.
Inside the training camp, the energy is high as Chris Eubank Jr. sharpens his skills under the close guidance of his legendary father. Chris Eubank Sr. with the long-awaited Benn rematch coming up. The father-son team is mixing old-school toughness with modern strategy. Eubank Sr.'s trademark discipline and mental strength are shaping Jr.'s preparation, turning this camp into a lesson in legacy and redemption.
This is my first full camp in Dubai. I've actually, I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus and hone your skills in the fight world.
We'll see it. No.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Or to roll.
As the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn gets closer, the mood inside Eubank's camp remains intense. Their first fight at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in April 2025 ended with Eubank Jr. winning a clear unanimous decision after
into this fight and find his range, but find his range he did. They just exchanged the rounds one by one. Eventually Conor Benn looked like he was slowing down, but he found a second wind and managed to take it back to Chris Eubank Jr., particularly just with really aggressive punches. Chris Eubank Jr. working the body, Conor Benn trying to find that knockout punch. It was chaotic, a barrage from both fighters in those final few rounds, and so hard to call. On the fan scorecards, it was level, 114 to 114, and no one could separate these two. But you heard it there, Chris Eubank Jr. wins, and not only does that on unanimous decision, but does it to inflict Conor Benn's first ever.
Eubank Jr. landed 367 of his 912 punches, while Benn connected with 215 of 593, according to CompuBox. Even though he was older and more drained physically, Eubank Jr. came out on top, but concerns grew around his weight cut and dehydration. He missed the limit by 0.05 pounds, was fined, and was taken to the hospital afterward as a precaution. Now he enters the rematch as the favorite, determined to finish the job. Meanwhile, his father, Chris Eubank Sr., shows both pride and worry. He has made peace with his son, but still publicly questions whether this rematch should happen under the same conditions.
They put a rehydration clause in. They fined him some £500,000 for coming in, 2 ounces over the weight. It was reported to me by Lawrence Lustig, who is a very famous photographer. Junior wasn't even sweating at the end of the fight. Dehydration. These rules are in place to save my son, to save the lives of fighters. Unfortunately, the reporters, the journalists are not doing their job. They're not holding them to account. Gareth Davis, do your job. Simon Jordan, you speak on boxing, do your job. You are not credible if you let these things happen. What you are is a jester. As I said after the fight, Conor Benn is an extraordinary fighter. Fighting at 156 or fighting a fighter at 160, he doesn't get back down to 147. And if he does, he's not the fighter he could have been. They are dangerous, they are reckless. If the Boxing Board of Control don't do what they're supposed to do, which is to block fights from happening which do not abide by the weights and the rules, you are baboons. I'm not a baboon, and I know this life. I've gone up to cruiserweight, fighting Carl Thompson. Watch that fight. Both of them. where you're watching one man who is almost twice the size of me. So it seems, I say this sparingly, seemingly killing me. And it looks like a fight because the smaller guy, me, has heart. And nothing is going to stop me. No threat. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to put a picture up of my eye. It looked like my eye was pregnant and giving birth. That's these promoters pulling me into a fight that I need for the money. So I say, no, I'll do it. But the Boxing Board of Control is not supposed to allow that to happen. So now when I speak on it for my own son, people say, oh, well, you know, he's overreacting. I'm not.
Inside Eubank Jr.'s camp, the atmosphere is serious and focused as he prepares for the rematch with Conor Benn. In recent weeks, his training is centered on fixing the mistakes from their first fight. He admitted that much of his win came from willpower and experience, not just physical strength, and now aims to turn that into a clearer, more dominant.
That session involved and the benefits for him.
We call that the Xbox. 6 different stations. You got 3 coaches. You got 3 different obstacles to push you as far as your power shots, your speed, your slipping, your rhythm, your sprints, your endurance on throwing your power shots and stepping over. So we usually do that once a week to push the fighter, and then every week we go up.
Pick it up, pick it up. Keep pushing. Push. More. There you go. Almost there. Come on, let's go. Come on, Chris. Give it up. Come on. Go. Come on, keep it up.
Eubank Jr. is training in Dubai, avoiding distractions and focusing on long sparring sessions and conditioning work. He said his father will be ringside for support, but he will be coached during training by others. One of his sparring partners revealed that Eubank often trains with 4-minute rounds and only 30-second breaks, building not just endurance but sharper strategy under
Full camp in Dubai. I've actually I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus.
Eubank Jr. has reunited with veteran coach Brian Bomac McIntyre, the same trainer who led Terence Crawford to undisputed status. This shows Eubank Jr. wants more than just another win. He wants to dominate the rematch. McIntyre confidently said he already has his number. He praised Eubank Jr.'s attitude and intensity in the gym, noting that this camp has complete focus and commitment compared to past ones.
Grinding, to the next fighter.
Did you get to make it back over for the victory parade?
Yes,
or
definitely we had to come back for the parade. That was beautiful what the city did for Bud.
how was that? Yeah, because we've even seen other fights before where there's been a great turnout, but this looked like a whole new level. And so right, it should have been.
I can imagine probably close to 1 million people there. I would think, man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Crawford's obviously enjoying some well-deserved time off, but has he spoken to you any more about what kind of next steps would be for him, what he wants?
No, not yet. We talked a little bit yesterday, but we didn't discuss anything about boxing. So we just making sure, I was checking with him, making sure the gym was going good, the kids was getting a good workout, and we're putting on another show for our up-and-coming fighters. So, he's working on that, and while I'm working with Chris.
Working with Chris, exactly. You are back working with Chris Eubank Jr. You're with him for the rematch against Liam Smith. How did it come about, you coming back into camp with him for this one?
Well, while we was finishing up with Crawford, Chris's guys, they hit me up maybe a month out and asked me would I be, interested. I told them, of course, right away, because I felt like that me and Chris got a good repertoire together. We got a good relationship, and we come out with good.
Their first fight revived memories of the famous rivalry between their fathers in the early 1990s. Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn had one of the most iconic rivalries in British boxing. Their first fight in November 1990 was a huge event, with Eubank surviving Benn's early power to stop him in the 9th and take the WBO title. The Eubank Jr. vs. Benn matchup has also been compared to Manny Pacquiao vs. Oscar de la Hoya in 2008, where Pacquiao moved up in weight and dominated a bigger opponent. Likewise, Conor Benn stepped up from welterweight to face middleweight Eubank Jr., and despite the size difference, Benn showed heart and power.
in the bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because not only was Oscar De La Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Chris Eubank Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. No, Conor Benn is no Manny Pacquiao, but don't get it confused. Chris Eubank Jr. is definitely.
Fraser Clark shared his thoughts on the fight between Eubank Jr. and Benn, saying the right man won. He praised both fighters for their heart and effort during the match. Clark highlighted how important these kinds of high-level fights are for British boxing, and the respect both men earned. Despite earlier objections, Eubank Sr. made a surprise appearance during the undercard, exciting the 65,000 fans in attendance. Nigel Benn was also present and welcomed Eubank Sr.'s arrival, seeing it as a positive sign for both families.
Sir, you turned up to support your son. What a night.
Well, you know, I was always going to be here for my son, irrespective of what you thought. I mean, it's a show. So suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds, standing toe-to-toe, the credit I'm going to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter, but he shouldn't be fighting at 160 or 156. He's a 147 fighter. What couldn't he do around the world? He's been destroyed by the people who are handling him, and they have to be brought to account. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
It's great to see you.
Chris Eubank Sr. has strongly warned that his son was misled into a deal by promoters who cared more about profits than his health. He said they forced Jr. into a strict 160 lb limit with a tight rehydration cap, leaving him badly drained on fight night. Sr. believes these terms were never about protecting his son, but about creating drama to boost ticket sales and streaming numbers.
What couldn't he do at his proper weight, fighting a man of his size? Let me tell you what Junior did. He took away all the sweeties from everyone. They fined him, they blocked him on rehydration, they tricked him on weight. Once you're bringing him down to 160, he's 35 years old. He's a man, he's a big man. He'll do it because he's a warrior, but he shouldn't do it. But he's not going to listen to anyone. If he's not going to listen to me, he's not going to listen to anybody else. So the rematch is, Junior, you have everything, you're rich. You know, those promoters, they hate you because they can never get close to anything that you do. The analogy I will use, they're looking at you like you're a rocket, you've taken off, all the fuel burners and tanks have fallen back to Earth, and you are now in space. They don't have the oxygen to be in the world you live in. They would do anything to be able to live at that.
The weight situation between Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn played a big role in their April 26, 2025 fight at Tottenham. Eubank Jr., a natural middleweight and former super middleweight, normally fights at 160 to 168 pounds. Benn, a career welterweight, usually competes at 147 pounds. To make the fight, both had to compromise. Eubank needed to cut weight, risking strength and stamina, while Benn had to bulk up without losing speed. The 156 lb catch weight was meant to balance things out, but still carried risks for both boxers.
This is even 70% of what he was. He's far too big for Benn. If he is really gone and shot, then yeah, he has a very good chance because, you know, he's the guy that can eat comfortably. You know, he doesn't have to pull himself down to make weight. You know, I look at it the same as I look at the, you know, obviously Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You know, a lot of people just don't understand. You know, one guy planned not to make weight and one guy was actually working hard to make the weight. It's not a fair fight. And that's without even talking about, you know, the accusations about with the PEDs.
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that.
We know that your dad has had 2 very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. What would you say to him?
Well, I think Chris is a legend. You know, he's a legend. I'd love that. We know that your dad has had 2 very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. What would you say to him?
What would you say to him?
What would you say to him?
you're, what, 3 or 4 weight divisions away from Chris Eubank Jr. at the moment, but you are 19 and you will continue to grow and you will continue to put weight on. What chance of you fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at some point in the future?
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that. I'd love that. You could, you know, but it's so many obstacles I've got to get first before we can even consider that.
Yeah.
So far, it's just a fantasy for the British public. You know, but...
Oh, wow. We are going to go right now.
Okay, time to jump in the sauna. Now the fun begins.
Or 8 pounds? You better watch out, dreadlocks. You better watch out, because we are come for you. Oh, sorry. It's my mother's tongue again. It comes through. You'd better watch out, because we're not playing. We're real, and we are a terror. And the procedure will be parliamentary.